Have you ever wondered how two people can experience something similar, yet their lives look completely different? One person sees opportunity and the other person sees risk. One person says, how can I use this as an opportunity to propel me forwards? And the other person says, I'm not good enough. What's the point? The difference here isn't intellect. It's not confidence. It's not talent either. The difference here is belief, believe it or not. But it's not the obvious beliefs, like politics or religion. It's more the sneaky beliefs, the ones that sort of creep in when you're kind of not looking, the ones that are like wee Pac-Man ghosties that just pop out of nowhere, and before you know it, they've caught you out. It's those are the beliefs I'm talking about. Because those beliefs, they're always on the move. I've recently came across Nir Eyal's work whilst I've been doing these sessions on beliefs. The work of Nir Eyal helps us to uncover those hidden stories, the stories that shape us, the stories that make us who we are. So what I'm going to do in this episode here is talk about the 6 beliefs that are quietly running your life. Maybe like those quiet wee ghosties on Pac-Man. Number 1. What you believe you deserve, you accept. Bingo. Number 1, right in there with a hard hitter. What you believe you deserve, you accept. What? And think about it, something in your life that's going on just now that you believe that you deserve. And I bet you accept it. And this one is particularly powerful because we say we want things like more love. We say we want more peace. We say we want more time. We say we want more relaxation, more rest. And yet we accept way less. All right? Think about it. When you think about rest, what comes up for you? Do you believe that you have to earn rest? Where you're sitting thinking, oh my goodness, I've stopped for 5 minutes, what is there to do next? And then there's this feeling of sort of guilt that begins to creep in. And if you believe that you deserve rest, then you're going to take that rest, because the thing that you believe you deserve is definitely not rest. You might be sat there tolerating people talking to you in ways that you would never speak to anyone else. There might be friendships that have gone unquestioned because that you believe that you deserve to be treated a certain way. It might even be that you've stayed in a job that actually you should have left quite a while ago, but you believe that you deserve this. So guess what? You're stuck and you're staying for now. And you continue because this is what subconsciously maybe, or maybe even at a conscious level, you believe you deserve. To stay here, to stay in this space, and just crack on, just get on with it. Sometimes I remember working in the corporate world and saying to people, oh, how are you doing? And hearing the term, oh, just plodding along. Oh my goodness, plodding along, what does that even mean? If you're someone out there watching this just now that is just plodding along, what I want you to do is I want you to think about this first belief, and I want you to see if there's something going on in your life that you are thinking, maybe I want to make a change. And sometimes the life that we've been accepting tells us way more about our beliefs than, life ever could show us. And here's number 2, what you believe about people you find. Think about it. 2 people walk into a room, the same room, all right, and they both leave with 2 completely different opinions of whatever it was that they were at. Maybe it was an event. One of these people say, people are lovely, yay, people. And the other says, people aren't to be trusted. Which one of those is right? Who is right in this situation? Maybe it's neither. Or maybe it's both, because naturally what we do is we look for evidence to show us that what we believe is actually true. If you've been hurt in the past, your brain will be looking for signs to watch out for someone who's going to hurt you in the future. It will be like putting up all these sort of wee tests. If you are somebody who is trusting, you would be more likely to be accepting of having new relationships and give people the benefit of the doubt. And if you are somebody who is expecting rejection right from the beginning, guess what's going to happen? Your brain is going to show you examples of where people in the past have rejected you. Or if you are somebody who wants to see the best in people, then guess what you're going to find? You're going to find the very best in people. It depends on what it is that you're looking for. So your lens changes with what it is that you notice. This doesn't mean that no one is to be trusted and you can't trust anybody and you have to put up all your walls and all your defences and no one can get through. It doesn't mean that at all. But what it does mean is that our beliefs even, influence what we see. And maybe even think about something that's going on in your life just now. Maybe it is something tricky that's happening at the moment with somebody that you know. And what I want you to do is just bring that forwards for me just now. Are you seeing this interaction or this situation through the lens of what is happening now? Or are you seeing it through the lens of something that's maybe happened in your past? So we've all almost got that kind of crystal ball where we're looking in and saying we already know how this is going to go. We already know what that future looks like. But in fact, we don't, because what's happened here is we've used something from our past and we've decided that this is how whatever's going on now will turn out. But we don't actually have the facts for that, do we? Because often people surprise us. And that's a really lovely thing about giving everybody a bit of a fair chance, isn't it? And here you go, there's my beliefs on number 2, giving everyone a fair chance. And number 3, right? What you believe is possible, you attempt. And it's quite funny, right? Because how many times, I don't know about you, right? But I am not a runner. I'm just not. I'm not built that way. I've tried. Okay. And every time that I signed up to Couch to 5K, guess what happened to me? Right? I ended up with sciatica. And it absolutely burst me every time I tried it. And I thought, oh my goodness, and I've tried it again. And I've saw these things where Couch to 5K looks like such a great idea. I'm going to start running. A cousin of mine's runs and she just makes it look so effortless, right? And I've even went running with her and tried to take tips and hints and whatever else from her, but hey. And then I tried it again and the same thing happened. And the third time I tried it, I was like, yeah, you know what, that's not for me. And that's not to say that I didn't try it a 4th, 5th or 6th time. But now my belief here is that actually it's not for me. I'm going to find joy from doing other forms of exercise, maybe like lifting a kettlebell or feeling strong. But what you believe is possible, you attempt. And we say these things every single day. You know, I can't lose weight. I'm bad with money. I'm forgetful. I can't speak in public. There's so many of them. Think of your own examples just now. I can't do X. I can't blah, blah, blah. Listen to that language. Listen to the language of I can't. What does it feel? It feels like automatically you've put that wall up there and you've decided that it's just not for you. And I've worked with many, many people, many women especially in the past, who, when they started working with me, didn't believe actually that it would be possible for them to set boundaries, especially with tricky people in their lives. They thought, I don't know if I can do that. And it's really interesting because when we first have that conversation about setting a boundary, everybody sort of looks at me with these, oh, okay, I'm not too sure, sceptical sort of look on their face. And then by the time that they've done it, they've went, oh, and I get a message, every single time I get a message saying, oh my goodness, I just done it. And it might sound something like, I've just said no to whatever it is that they didn't want to do. I've just said that I'm not available for this. I've told the person that's been speaking to me like a bit of rubbish that I don't want them to speak to me like that anymore. And they believed that it was possible. Now, they didn't believe it was possible because all of a sudden they'd become a different person. We don't sit in this room here and I wave a magic wand. What happens is their beliefs changed. The belief that went in the beginning from, I don't think this is possible for me, actually changed in a way that says, hold on a wee minute. There is a glimmer here. There is a wee gap that says this might be possible. And that's exactly where we hook into. This might be possible for me. And when you start to believe that something is possible, you will attempt it. Maybe there's something in your life that you're thinking, is there something that I believe could be possible? And you could give it a wee try. I'd love to hear that in the comments if there is something that you've been thinking about. The biggest setback that I see from people isn't where they are. It's what they've decided themselves is possible. That's the biggest setback. It's you deciding it. It's the Taylor Swift moment of, hi, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. And you know what? I see you. I know it too. Number 4. What is risky you avoid? Hello, fellow risk assessors out there. It's your old pal, Michelle. I see you, I know you, I am you. And this one here explains so much about who we are and how we behave. So if you believe that speaking is risky and you might look like a fool, guess what you're going to do? You're going to stay quiet. It's quite funny. When I done my training to become a clinical hypnotherapist, we had to also have that same therapy sort of done on us by our peers, all right? And I can remember sitting with a lady doing this exercise, and it was to look at our past for beliefs that we had that would limit us. And I remember and I phoned my best friend after it, right, and she'll be mortified, or maybe she won't, she'll just laugh out loud if I'm being honest with you. But I remember when we were younger, I think we might have been about 19 or 20, and she would say these words to me: don't speak and no one will know you're stupid. What? It's just that because she'd said it and I internalised it, I believed it. So what I thought was risky, I started to avoid. I decided that maybe I would stay a bit more quiet. Maybe I wouldn't speak just as soon as a thought came into my head. Maybe I'd take a moment to pause. And I don't think that that's a bad thing all the time, is it? And it is good, because when I had uncovered that limiting belief, I gave her a phone later on and I'd says, oh my goodness, you came up in this session today. I can't believe you said that to me. And we laughed about it, and not because, she's a big bad friend. So if there is anyone out there who has kind of instilled these limiting beliefs in you, where you've held on to them, whatever else, and you've been avoiding and staying quiet and things, and I can laugh about that one when I talk about it with my friend. But it doesn't mean that they all have to be laughed at, because sometimes the limiting beliefs that we take on, that we've taken on from other people, can feel quite sore actually. So I'm asking you here just to be gentle with yourself, all right? I know I laugh about that, but in all seriousness, some limiting beliefs that we are sort of wearing like coats, we can take off, but we don't have to have a giggle at them. We can say, you know what, you're no longer serving me here. It's not the same risk as what I once thought. I can put this down. I don't have to carry it anymore. If you believe that failure says something about your worth, guess what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. You're not even going to try. I know this because I've visited this limiting belief too. If you believe that if you fail, it means that you're rubbish, then you're not going to put your kind of your flag down there, are you? You're just going to decide to sit back and think about it. And what's happening here is that your nervous system is scanning for those, past receipts. It's looking over everything, says, attempted once and was an absolute riddy. Do not do it again. 1 star, would absolutely not recommend. Too much risk here. Abort mission. Right? But what happens is you miss out on so much, right? You miss out on so much from not doing it, from thinking that the risk is too risky, from thinking that you might look like a fool, from thinking that there might be failure, from thinking that if you speak up, you'll look stupid. But what happens if it's not failure at all? What happens if we can look at these risks not as, oh no, what will happen if I mess this up? What if we look at them and say that success might be on the other side of this? And it often is, because I don't want to look at failure anymore as something bad. I want to look at failure now as feedback. I want to start saying, okay, just look at it as data. That didn't work. How can I change it? And number 5, what you believe is your limit, you will obey. Have a think about it. How many limits do you carry around with you? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 10? Is it many, many more? There's probably so many limits that you carry about with you that you're not even aware of. And what we often do with these is we often take them on as our identity. So we often say, a limit that you might carry around with you is that you think that you're bad with money, you're poor with time management, that you're not confident, that, you're just an all-round wee bam, whatever that looks like for you. But you carry these around with you, and all of a sudden they become your identity. All of a sudden you're wearing a hat that says BAM or whatever else on it. And here's what you do. Whatever it is that you believe is your limit, you will obey. So if you believe that you're not confident, you'll automatically in some way create obstacles that just continue to allow for this cycle to run, that you're not confident. But as I said before, you can collect receipts that actually show that there have been occasions where you have done it and you have obeyed something completely different, or you've been a wee bit of a rebel, right? And you've decided, maybe I'm going to just test this out. And you can look at those receipts and say, well, there was a time when actually I was confident enough to do X, Y, or Z, and it kind of makes a bit of an outlier of it, doesn't it? So then you can actually start to question that and say, well, hold on, maybe what it is that I believe, I obey, but what if I could just stretch that a wee bit? What if I could just kind of dip my toe into the unknown? Oh, who knows what will happen? Number 6, what you believe about change, you prove right. If you believe that people can't change, guess what you're going to notice? People don't change. And you'll find the evidence to prove that people don't change. If you believe that you're always going to be anxious, your brain's going to go out and it's going to collect all these wee nuggets of information that say, actually, she's right. She's always going to be anxious. If you believe it's too late, you'll never start. If you believe that change is possible, failure doesn't have to mean the end, does it? It's like I said, failure can now mean feedback and give you data on how you can do things a bit differently. Building a positive mindset isn't magic. I don't have a magic wand. It's not magic at all. And you know that we're not into the toxic positivity fluff around here, okay? It's not for me. I don't think it's for you either. But when you give yourself the chance to see that there is another way, guess what will happen? You'll open up the opportunity to see things a bit differently. And there is plenty of opportunities to work with me on Zoom if you like. So if you find that, hold on, any of these 6 beliefs that we've been sort of uncovering here, how is it that you can find a way to feel better about yourself? Give me a shout, let's have a chat. Because here's the really fun bit, right? Beliefs can be rewritten. I'm a bit dorky sounding here when I say that, but yes, they don't have to be the same. You don't have to keep the same beliefs as you've always kept. But with pacing, with patience, with curiosity, with compassion, it won't happen overnight. But you will begin to notice those subtle differences, those subtle changes. And you'll start to build evidence that feels much lighter. So today, let me leave you with one question. Which of these beliefs feel most like you? Was it what you believe you deserve? Was it what you believe is possible? Maybe it was similar to me and what you believe is risky. You avoid. I don't want you to rush yourself into fixing mode. I just want you to notice. Remember, your beliefs are not your identity. They're simply stories that you've stacked up over the years of proof and evidence of things that have made you believe a certain thing to be true, when in fact, you can make the changes to believe something else is true now. And the lovely thing about all of this work is it's never too late to make a change. And I'll leave you, as I always do, with the sentiments of be gentle with yourself. You're a work in progress.